Hi everyone, it's Janette back with part 2 of my Lapbook tutorial, constructing a lapbook, perhaps we'll call it. So we've done, let's just recap on what we've done. We've got our folder, we've got A and we've got B, so that's the covers, and they join at the back. They overlap here. Then we've got C, and I've made the two of them exactly the same, so I've labelled them both. Now I have both C. Okay. The only thing is when you do them, you flip one around so that you, well, you don't have to, you can do whatever you want. I've got a flap on that side and I've got the flap on that side, but if you want them in the middle, it just depends on how big or how we're going to stuff it full. So they're the two there. Now we're going to work on the next ones for in here, and that is E, and there's two of these. So I've pre-cut two manila folders, I've taken my edges off and I've cut them both at, oh God, 6.5. Why is one not? Oh, because that one's 6 3/4. Yeah, we'll fix that up, hey? Right, so 6.5. Now what I've done, so we've got them 6.5 by 9 on this side, and we want this side of the spine 6.5 by 7. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold my spine on both of them and burnish. That one should be pretty well done anyway because it's folded in the box like that. Okay, so the shorter one I'm going to put in my cutter. That's the shorter side. Well, that's the longer side. Let's do the longer side. Jeez. And that is 9. So we'll put that at 9. Right. And I'll lift that and cut. Then I'm going to flip it over, put the shorter side in, put that at 7, cut. So now I have those two pieces like that. Now I'll do it this way for those of you who want to score, and for those of you who don't, you don't have to worry about watching this. You can sip your coffee. So what I've done is to score and fold at 5 1/4. So we get on the scoreboard at 5 1/4, score it, whoops, and fold. And that's your little pocket for that side. So that you've got, okay, so I'll do another one of those. Let's pop that down. So this is my long side, and I'm going to do that at 9. So I'll put that at 9. Just lift that up so I don't, just in case I snip it. And then the short side at 7. Whoops. Now, when you've got your little pieces like this, keep the bit bigger ones. The others can go. These can be folded in half, and what I'll do is I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so I'll do this first. So we score the long side at 5 1/4. with these, I've got a little, I don't know if you can see the black mark there, and I just pop these, sort of centre them there, and then just run down the centre of that. Doesn't matter if it's not exactly the same on both sides. Says she, moving a tiny weeny bit. Fold away from that fold, and there you've got your hinges. Now these hinges I will be using, so any little scraps that you have like that, just make them into hinges. And what we'll eventually be doing is cutting them. Where's those scissors gone? Oh, for God's sake. Cutting them the length of that fold, snip the edges. This is taking me back to my days of doing mini albums, and just popping that in there, folding it over, and that gives you a little gusset, so it just gives you a little bit more room to play with. So that's what we will be doing with those. So keep those, make them up, ready for that. So we've got these two done, and that is E and E on the left and E on the right. I hope I'm making sense. I'm just happy to be crafting again. If I don't make sense, well, I'm sorry. So in the middle of your C, we'll pop these. Now it's not set in concrete as yet as to whether we're going to put them at the top, the bottom. It's just that we've got them there in place. We might put one at the top and one at the bottom. Well, we'll do that now. You know, so we might have one there so that when we fold them up, we can go like so, and we'll see different bits of paper as we go through. There. Okay, so that's E done. Now we've got G, no, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then G. And I've done these as F and G because they're different sizes. Okay, so these are just some of the offcuts from as I was cutting up the front covers and what have you. So these are going to be 4 by 4. So we do a 4-inch here and get that at 4 inches. Then we'll fold the score lines so that you've got your score lines to measure from. And there's another beautiful couple of pieces ready for hinges. I'll just cut that little piece off so they're good for hinges. And from the score lines we want 4 inches each way. And I just realised that when I cut up the top here we're out of camera. And these, if you wanted to make them into flips as well, you could quite easily do that. These pieces I'm going to keep for tucks, and to back I'm going to use it's a music, Stamperia music paper, and I've also got a bit of Kaiser craft paper that sort of matches in a little bit with it. So okay, so that's F done. That's so very easy. Okay, so that's F, and now we'll do G, and that's 4 inches. Yeah, bring it down so you can see 4 inches. Another lovely piece for you know what, and then fold it on the score line. Now, both sides are the same. So from the score line we want 7 inches on both of them. So like I did before, I'll put this one on the 7 and slice it. Another fabulous little hinge. Oh, sorry, I won't say much of that anymore. You'll know by now. And then this side, we've got a little journaling card or pocket. Make it into a pocket or something. So both sides of that are, I'll get rid of this now because that's the end of that for this session. And then we'll do, so on here, remember I said we're going to do a little bit. So what we're doing is we're going from the edge where the folders of the spine, we're going to go up 4 inches, and then at the next one, which is an 1/8. Now I'm not sure what yours, if you've got a scoreboard or whatever. If you haven't, if you've got a cutter that's like, where did I put it? Like the Stamping Up one. Where's it here? If you've got one of these, and Fiskars have this type where they've got the thing down, line up your cardstock at the 4 and then just go down there, and that's your scoreboard, and then go over your 1/8 of an inch, and it's exactly the same as your scoreboard. So then you just score. If you could see the mess. So there we go. And then you've got your other one to do. So it just makes a little, another gusset, so to speak. And then we'll do the same here. Make a little pocket out of that with your little pieces. Oh, now my tape's all gone. I won't know where I am. Oh God. Okay, so they are, we've done, I'll put them in the thing too. We just burn that one and that little one. So that's ready to go, and that's got the little piece there. Okay, so once we put the hinge in there, they will stay like that. So we'll get rid of that one. So that was ACFG, and they go into here as well. So we've opened it up. We've got our A and our B. We've got our C's. We've got our E's. And we're going to put these F, and that will probably end up, perhaps like that, I don't know, but we'll just pop it anywhere at the moment. And then this one will probably go up the top. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and so then you fold things in. Actually, I would like to do right first, right over left. There, there, there. And then we have what's starting to look a bit like a folio. I'm a bit excited. Hey, Big Kev. That was my dad's name, Kev. Okay, so what we'll do now, we'll open this up again. Now this can all be in measurements. We'll just lay that all down flat there, and now, like you can see, it'll all lay reasonably flat on either side. Now we've got the back. Now I made a mistake, so this is going, it's a big piece. You may have to cut another piece of folder. I want to make it so that it has enough room from this score line on the spine, so I want it to come over about 1/8 of an inch on either side. Now where's that score line? There. So about 1/8 of an inch there and 1/8 of an inch there, which makes it roughly 7 1/4. So because the back was 7 1/2, that makes sense, doesn't it? So we'll chop that one. At 7 1/4. Now, when we do the back, we can do it one of two ways. What I'm thinking about doing is just having a little piece across here to go stick down here and go under the base paper that will be on here, and that will hold it down beautifully. So to do that, we just chop off so that we've got perhaps let's give it 1 inch just to make sure. Okay, so that will be attached onto the back page like that, and it will be a flip up. Okay, now I'm not worried that we've got our score lines there because it'll all be covered in paper. Okay, now if you wanted to, and I think that's what I did in the other one, I folded at the flip, and that way I didn't, and it did bring it up like that. So either way, I'll leave it like that just to see how we go. Got plenty of paper, and that will just give it a bit more reinforcement down the bottom. So do that, fold it at the flap, at the, you know, the spine score line, and then you've still got your piece from the back of it. What I'm going to do with that is turn it the other way, and you've got enough on the sides to do those fold overs that I showed you in the other. Okay, so you've got enough to do your little fold over pieces here, like that. And they are, so they're 1/2 inch all the way around. I think that one went a bit crooked, but that's all right. Okay, so now there you've got your pieces that you can fold over and under, and that gives you your pocket on the front. So those I made at 8 by 3 1/2. So let's have a look and see if I've made this a bit different, because I think this one is a little bit, this was 7 1/4, so we need to have it at 8 1/4. Let's see. And I just need to take 1/8 off. So that is 8 1/4. And that's the difference between working with the cheapest chips ones and the cream vanilla folders. Okay, so we've got it at 8 3/4, and that's going to be the width. And then I want the pocket to be 3 inches, so I'm going to make it 3 1/2, because remember we need to fold that little 1/2 inch up. So 3 1/2, which, just let me make sure that leaves me enough, because I don't want to cut another. Yeah, it will. So 3 1/2, we need 2. And then scoreboard out, and you do 1/2 inch. So there's my 3 1/2, so I'll do 1/2 inch. And you can do it this way if you want to. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. And I think that was off camera. And I've done this at 8, and I think I was supposed to do it at 8 1/4, wasn't I? Let's see what happens. So they're all ready to fold. And I think we're going to be so we need to make that 7 inches. Easy done, hey? Do it 7 inches, and that way we've just got that little bit extra on the side. I don't know why it didn't. We've got that little bit extra on the side to play with in case we want to put little lace or, I don't know, a bit of something down the side. No biggie, no biggie. So this back flip we've made at 7 inches wide, and the length of it is 7 5/8 long. Now, doesn't have to be exact, okay, because once we put our pockets on, and I'll do that now, let's just pop that in, the back on again. Once we put our pockets down, we can have them as short as we want. Now that's the pocket that's going to go under the flap, okay, so we'll pop that down there, and that will line up with that. Now if you didn't want to, you could cut that up so that it was just meeting there, and put your little circles and your toggles around that, okay. That's one way of doing it. You don't have to do it the way I do it. You can do whatever you like. This is just a little basic kit that we can start playing with, okay. Then this one will go on top, and I may even take it up and have the pocket on the top as well, and then have that little toggle thing. Just you can do so much, you can vary it all so much. Okay, so at this stage I will just pop that one on there so that we know that we've got it on there. And let's have a quick flip through. I'm not sure how long I've been, but we'll have a quick flip through. I hope you can't hear the neighbours mulching something out the back there. Going berserk. Okay, so let's go. We'll fold it as we go. Okay, so we've got our A for the front cover. We've got our B for the front cover. We've got C, and that opens up with our pockets. Then we've got, where's our little D gone? Haven't even got a D. Anyway, we've got an E. I'll have to make a D just to make it right, won't I? Okay. So then we've got our E, which has got the flap on that side. And what I might do is flip it around, because that's going to be a bit bulky in there. We've got our two little flaps, but they won't. Let's do it that way. Let's pop it this way, because we've got our little flap and it will just go there. Then we've got our F and our G. So I think we've got enough to play with. And then we've got our flip up at the back. So I think that's enough to play with to start with. As we go through it, we might put something else in there, but we'll work on it as we go through. So I'll see you next time, and we might start decorating a little bit of it. Okay, so until then, I'll say happy crafting and bye for now.